All right. Hey, everybody. TMO here, coming to you live from the Elk Mountains of Colorado. I'm here with Deepa from Grant Orb. Hi, Deepa.
Hey, Timo, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited. I'm actually wondering if I can how do I share this stream on LinkedIn? Like, should I?
It, it's already sharing. So we're live on LinkedIn.
Oh, we are. So
Yep.
I don't have to hit the join button there.
Nope. It
Okay,
should start. It might be a few second lag, like 20-30 second lag, but we're
got it.
live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, live on Twitter, and live on Facebook, actually.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
yeah. So, Deepa and I have been going back and forth on Twitter, been Twitter friends for a long time, and kind of intersecting a lot of different areas with, kind of started with refi, regenerative finance, but it's now also going into AI. And Deepa has been really big into impact and using AI for impact. And we're going to get into what she's building with Grant Orb here in a minute. But we just wanted to catch up in person. We don't really have a kind of set schedule or script, but we're just going to basically, I think, go over Grant Orb for a little bit and then go over insurance, natural asset insurance, what we're building at Basin for a little bit. And then if we have time, people can ask questions on any of those four platforms we mentioned. And we also invited John, Ruth, and a couple other people. If someone wants to pop in the room, you can DM me on Twitter, and I can send you the link to get in the room. But Deepa, why don't you maybe share your screen or just go into what you're talking about, what you're focused on,
Yeah,
and we'll go from there.
yeah. You know what? I'll share my screen. I'll share what I've been doing for the last. We started this technically in 2013 with Gitcoin. I keep forgetting what grant round that was, but it was the Gitcoin grant round in November. And I've been in Web3, and that's how we know each other. And grants are really big in Web3. So I kind of discovered AI and started using it early on because I was literally forced to use it because I had no people and I wanted to just, do stuff faster. And so I started using AI. And I'm like, okay, this is an amazing technology. How can we use it outside of my just what I'm doing with it? And then I realized that people in Web3, grants are big, but people in Web3 aren't very good at communicating their ideas. This is something that this comes naturally to me for some reason. And in between, even before, when my first round was taking place, when I first fundraised on Gitcoin, I think second round, actually, I offered help to people that I'm happy to look at your proposals and happy to tell you how to, edit and be more effective in your communication. And this was all back in 2022, right? And so 2023, I'm like, okay, people really don't know how to communicate ideas, right? This is a serious problem. And so how can we use AI for that? And also because Gitcoin fundraising is pretty global. There are people from Africa, Turkey, and all these places whose English is not their first language. So how can we help them? So that was the whole thesis behind it. And we started a really simple thing where you just enter your project idea and AI will write a one pager, because for Gitcoin, you don't need more than a small script of what is it that you're seeking funding for. So it was very designed for Gitcoin. It was eligibility criteria was hard coded, which Gitcoin didn't know, but anybody who went through us, if they didn't meet the eligibility, they couldn't really participate in the round. They could otherwise, but it was told to them hey, you don't fit or meet this eligibility, you can't participate in this round, which was pretty cool as well, because it really saves time on both ends. And then that was November. And then 2024, I built it out for the nonprofit sector, because grants are really big in the nonprofit world. I come from that space and I've seen it's literally survival. If you don't raise grant funding, you have to shut your doors, So we built it out, and their proposals are far more complex. They're 10 pages long, and you have to answer so many hundreds of different things. So basically, it's a really cool product, because what you can do is you can simply describe. I can show you here, write your grants in minutes. You can simply. This is a new interface, by the way. So, and I'm right now doing a lot of bug fixing. So there are a few things. We just launched this like 2 or 3 days ago, and so it's still being worked upon. But you can just say create a grant, and you decide. Sorry, you basically, as I said, I've said this before. We do all our testing on cats. You can just
People love cats on the internet.
Yeah, yeah, and people love cats. My engineers have sent cats to the moon, and they've got them living in mystical lands, and they've done all sort of testing on cats and what the world should look like. But this is what it is: write a grant to help feed stray cats in Vancouver, and then you just describe your project, and if you have like you want to help stray cats for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, you can provide a bit of a timeline, how much you're requesting for funding and all that, and it just creates an outline, which basically you review the outline, and then you go down to creating a whole proposal. And then we have the whole, there are many other agents that are working here. This is all AI powered. Everything is AI powered. Like every single piece that's happening here is AI powered. So this validation wizard will basically validate your proposal against the funders' giving criteria. So, all funders have criteria, right? Like focus areas and stuff like that. And so it's really cool. Like this is your dashboard, this is your grant library, and you can search for grants. Say you want to search for crypto, or this thing. So these are grants that I have been curating, which I think are more popular grants, or I don't have any logic right now how I curate grants, but I just find grants that should be here on Grantor. And so we, like, for instance, this is a grant, this Crypto for Good fund of Mercy Corp Ventures. And these are the set of questions they ask in the grant application form. So we've got an AI to take their application form and create a similar one on our platform, so people can write it in minutes, right? They can just describe their idea here, and they can write it in minutes. And so, and then we have examples too, because sometimes people don't know what to say there, So we've got it's so guided. I can't tell you. I don't think many realize that we have these examples too, that they can look at that example and know how to write that section. But they don't even need to do that, because all they have to do is dump their thoughts here, basically dump it here, and the AI creates an outline. You review the outline, and once you're happy with that outline, you basically go and say, I want to create an entire grant,
Wow.
Generate the proposal. It also does line item budgeting, which is automatic. So you don't have to sit and assume what kind of expenses will go into doing this project. So that's pretty cool, because that's also a very time-consuming piece. And what we've seen with nonprofits especially is that they always under-ask. For some reason, they don't ask the full amount, and so they will always cut corners here and there, and they'll ask less than what they need. And when they get the money, they're not able to do a good job of the project because they didn't cover all the expenses. So here, AI knows precisely, like based on your proposal, what kind of expenses will go in. And so you don't even have to think, okay, these are the expenses. I need to budget all of these expenses, So that's grant library. And then we have AI grant search coming, which is super cool.
Ooh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's not like a Google search. It's like I'm calling it the Scout, Grant Scout. It's scouting opportunities for you, for your mission. So you basically, you can set up an organization.
You said Scout, like Grant Scout.
Yeah, a Grant Scout. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's cool. Yeah, cool name.
We wanted to differentiate from search, because we don't want people to confuse like Google search with grant search, like AI grant search. So I think scouting helps differentiate the fact that it's different. It's not the same thing as search. It's automatic. Once you set up your organization profile here, the agent goes out and scouts for opportunities for you and sends it over to you. You just have to say, yeah, I'm interested in all of these. And then an AI will create templates for them. And then you just basically fill up those templates by describing your idea in few words. It could be just keywords as well, like need 10,000 medical supplies, basically whatever the keywords of the project are. And it writes the grant for you. And it does validation. It tells you which sections are weak, which sections you need to strengthen. So it's very, very like smooth. Like very smooth, and it's all completely um, assisted by AI. Like you're still the director. Like obviously AI is not going to come up with the project idea. Like it won't just say, "Oh, this is what you're doing." Actually, we want to do that as well. We want AI to suggest smarter project ideas, because sometimes I feel like AI is really great with generating ideas more than humans are, based on all the knowledge that they have. Like, so we want AI to be able to even suggest better ideas, and that will lead to better programming, and that will lead to better impact. So that's the next feature we'll be rolling out. But what I mean to say is that human is in control every time. The human being is reviewing the outline. It's authorizing the AI, like this is what I want to do, this is what I don't want to do. So it's very human plus AI, but AI does the heavy lifting.
Cool. I mean, I think, my experience with AI, right, and what a lot of people are saying is it takes unstructured thought or a bunch of random things, all these thoughts we have, and it makes it structured very quickly, very easily. And that's what I think the art and science, it seems like a grant writing is kind of, how do you, like you said at the very beginning, how do you communicate an idea? And that's kind of a weak
Yes.
point for most founders, basically anybody trying to sell an idea. Like, how do you actually communicate it? And AI is a perfect tool, right, to summarize that into something actionable.
It takes your unstructured thoughts, because generally people have unstructured thoughts around what they want to do, right? You don't want to like you and me are having a meeting and I'm like, hey, I need to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this, right? It's very unstructured. And now you need to put it in these sections, and think. And why should you spend time doing that? Let the AI do it for you. You read it. You see if it makes sense to you. If you want to change anything, you change it from there on, So I think it's seriously, it's great what we're doing with Grant Orwin, helping change makers like spend less time writing grants. Another fact that people don't know about grant writing is that it's highly time consuming. And then it's a specialized skill, because there are lots of people who are helping others write grants. And so a lot of frontline organizations who can't afford to outsource that part of grant writing are not able to participate in grant funding. And so they don't get the funds, or they get like, it's a pass through, somebody will get, then somebody else will get, and then they'll get, and they are the ones who are actually implementing the project. So why can't they just go directly to the source?
Cool. Well, I love it. Do you mind if I ask some technical questions? And
Yeah,
sure. If I pry too much, like just shut me down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you programming this yourself using Cursor or Windsurf or?
No, I'm not programming myself. I have two engineers who are doing it. They are AI engineers. They are different than software engineers, because they need to know how to engineer AI. To basically, it's as you know, TMO, you've been in the space, and working with AI models is very, very hard. It's a totally different skill set, because they're non-deterministic and they have their own mind, right? It's not. It's an alien mind. You got to understand an alien mind, and so they end up reading tons of research papers, and then they are on top of the game, like mostly reading tons of research. Like there's so much happening, and the people who build these models themselves don't know how to harness these models for different use cases. They themselves are struggling. Claude has done a great job for coding. For instance, for coders, they've really figured that part out, right? And so I'm trying to figure that part out for the social impact space. So it's a specialized skill set, and I obviously learn a lot from them, and I transfer my knowledge by doing a lot of workshops for nonprofits, basically how they can use these models in their day-to-day life. But I learn a lot from them, and I've tried vibe coding. Like I vibe coded a feature, which obviously, if I just pushed it to production, would have been a total disaster. But I vibe coded it, and I'm like, now you guys take a look at it and see how it is, and you push it to production. I've done it. I've done my job. And so the website that you see right now, if you go back to Grant Orb, I actually vibe coded this entire thing, at least the hero section. So and a little bit below, and I'm going to do it again because we want to change it a lot more. All this I put, it's basically Copilot plus GitHub. And
cool.
So yeah, like I vibe coded to a certain stage, up till the production stage maybe, and then they just take a look and they're like, okay, this is good, let's push it out.
Cool. And for the audience, real quick, so GitHub, right, where code repository has a thing called Copilot, which is an AI assisted programming, and that's
Yes.
what you're using, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it's Microsoft's Copilot. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And then like another one is Cursor. That's
Cursor.
what I use basically regular.
Yeah, we are also using Cursor, and we are also using Claude code.
Claude directly. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yep. And then I think another one is Windsurf, right? Or Windsurfer. Yep. I haven't used that one,
I haven't used
but I highly recommend people check out one of the founders of Cursor AI has a really cool Twitter where he's basically has reinvented a Mac operating system, but for the modern world. But you can basically go back in time using the Internet of History and look at how a Mac operating system would have looked, Windows operating system would have looked 20 years ago, or how it might look 100 years from now. And he basically can toggle between all that, and he vibe coded the whole thing. So it's a fully working computer, but it operates online through a browser. It's really amazing. He has some really cool tutorials. So if people want to learn about vibe coding, kind of what Deepa is talking about, I highly recommend that.
Yeah, no, you're big into vibe coding. How about we get started with your story? Like, how did you, like, I always see you talk about vibe coding, and then I'm excited that other people from Web3 are also taking interest in AI. Like, it's good to see, because AI is just a tool, right? It facilitates every sector, like everything basically. So yeah, how did you get into it?
Well, real quick before we go there, I just wanted to ask on your LLM, right? So for people on LinkedIn, I think people who don't know what we're talking about, right? We're using jargon and acronyms and stuff, but like LLM, large language model.
Models.
Are you using Quad under the hood, or GPT, or Gemini under the hood? Like, what's running?
We have multiple models. One more thing I forgot to mention, like our new update also, which is the one that I showed you, the application. It can also now create grants based on voice message. So you can just, as I said, you can just leave a voice note and say, I want to write this grant, and the AI will use that voice to write the proposal. You can also show an image. Like, for instance, you can show an image of a community garden you have in mind, and you want to maybe set up 5 of those gardens. And then you can say, based on this image, or you can just say, I like to start 5 more gardens similar to this, So it has visual reasoning, and it can figure out, okay, like this is the kind of quality of programming you're intending to do. So it can write a proposal based on that. What else? Yeah, it can. So it's really cool, and we have multiple agents working, multiple models working. What I mean to say, in the back. So it's not just one model. Like, we have so many tasks going on in the back. Like so many tasks are there that every model has been tuned to do a certain task.
And you're finding different models are better than other models at doing certain things. Yeah.
Oh yes, totally. You can't rely on one model for everything. Like, as you see, like I myself I've got 2 subscriptions. I've got Gemini. I pay for Gemini, and I pay for Claude, because I find Claude to be really good with writing, and it's amazing with writing. And then Gemini is great with research, deep research. It's amazing, and it's great and it has VO3, so I can create commercials. It has this amazing Nano Banana thing, which now can edit images, and it's so, oh my gosh, that is the craziest thing. Like, it can do the craziest thing with your images. So it has those features which Claude doesn't have, right? And then I also had ChatGPT on and off, and I finally canceled ChatGPT recently. So I'm like, I use on my daily basis, I'm using 3 models. Like, I'm using Grok for all the research, and I'm out and about, like, and I'm shopping or something, I just use Grok for that. It just comes naturally, because I think it's more mobile. Somehow I feel like it's more mobile. And then I use Gemini, then I use Claude. So yeah, I've been using these 3. So you can't rely on one model for anything. So we found the best in each model, Google Gemini is great at doing this. Grok is great at research, research agent. We also have a research agent who goes and finds statistics and stuff and cites it into the proposal, so you don't have to look for it, and it perfectly fits in. As if like it's been like, how a human would do. Like, it's plugged into the proposal completely, very naturally. So it's not like, oh, these are the citations you should add. It's already added in for you in those 3 minutes when the proposal is being written. So we found the best models for different tasks, and we are using multiple models.
Cool. And on the flip side, Deepa, are you thinking about using it for grant evaluation? So you're obviously the grant orb, it seems like it's for grantees or grant recipients.
Yeah, like that's my end goal. Why should, the thing is, it's a spectrum, right? There are these seekers and there are the givers. And so right now, the big friction is actually the seekers the ones who act on our grant orb, those people, we've really made life good for them, right? Like, it barely takes any time to write grants. But now they have to take this grant and go to the ones who are giving money and put it in their system. And those guys are also like, they are seeing an influx in terms of the number of applications they're getting, because AI has definitely democratized access to grant funding, right? Like, a lot more smaller organizations are applying. So there's an increase in that. And I feel they need to completely rethink grant giving as well, right? I mean, so many forms I come across, and they are like so badly designed. The grant forms are so badly designed. And I'm like, why aren't they using AI to design the forms, Like, so I would want to fix the problem on the other side as well. Like, that's really my end goal. And at the end of the day, sometimes they take 6 months to evaluate a grant. Why are they taking 6 months? Why can't it be done in like 2 days? Like, this is AI, let's bring them into this age as well. So yeah, first is obviously we modernized our entire tech stack. Like, it was only like we launched only in 2024 Jan, but we modernized it. We made it very AI first. Its whole infrastructure has been redone. And so that makes it very easy for us to push out features like literally on a weekly basis if need be. So it speeds up everything for us. And once we solve the problem for the grant seekers, I would love to start working with, or simultaneously, doesn't matter. I just need 1 or 2 people who make grants to actually experience an AI first way of allocating funds. And once that happens and we can showcase them as a case study, then more will come in, So I just need few progressive, open-minded grant givers, who are ready to work with us.
Cool. Well, I love what you're building. I think it's a perfect use case. There's obviously a need for it. I think the biggest thing I think a lot of us are facing is like, how do you communicate that there's this useful tool? Like, you've built this amazing website and app and fully functional, but then how do you actually drive people to it, or that people know it exists, right? It used to be, you could do Google and you could do pay-per-click and you could do organic search engine, but now like actually I think people are like in the AIs, right? Or like maybe using Perplexity and searching like, how do I get my grant funding? So like, right, how do you get your grant orb, right, to show up in those chats, right?
The distribution is the only thing I'm trying to crack at this point of time. We've grown organically till now. Like, it has been word of mouth from day one. Like, when I first demoed GrantOrb in Jan 2024, it was with Vancouver TechSoup, TechSoup is like this large organization that has been like the go-to resource for technology for nonprofits. So I demoed with them in Jan, but I didn't even reveal the name of our website, but I had like 70 people sign up for it. Like, I didn't even say, because it was so new at that time. I said, anybody who's interested, feel free to get in touch with me. And then I go back and I'm like, 70 people have already signed up. Like, so it was crazy. So from there on, it's just been word of mouth. Anybody who learns will go and tell 100 other people, or they'll make a LinkedIn post about it. There's this grant consultant who was who was there in that first session. She will literally find anyone on LinkedIn who's talking about grants the old way, or talking about some AI and grants or something, and she'll literally go plug my website there and say, use her, or, like like literally advocates, and from nowhere, there are these advocates who basically just love the fact that what we've done is really amazing. So everything has been, it's slow in the sense that it's word of mouth, and obviously we don't have that artificial scale, or we don't advertise. There are others also. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I've seen the products and they're really crappy, but they're advertising. And so I just hope the customers can be saved from those crappy products, and they find us somehow magically.
Cool. Well, I'd love to figure out a way to collaborate with you in what we're building with insurance. So everything we're doing is agentic at the core level. I mean, in the real world, it's down to what we call the natural asset level. So real estate or real assets that contain ecosystems. So that's our whole goal is around funding conservation and protection of those natural assets that produce all the benefits that we rely on: clean air, clean water, pollination, risk resilience, everything like that. And so in order to fund that, we got sick of trying to convince humans and trying to go through the grant process, and whether it be a Web3 grant process or a normal philanthropic carbon grant process or impact grant process. It takes a long time to do the grant, to wait to hear back, and then funding typically is not for 6 months or 12 months after, unless you're in the Web3 world. So like it's like, for example, like $100,000 grant, like you apply, June, you might not hear back till October. The grant money is not available till like March of the following year. It's like
yeah.
We can't do that.
The whole system needs to be revamped, and I'm happy to do that, because it should actually, everything should be fast grants now. It shouldn't take that long.
So
it does not take that long.
Yeah. So to that point, like what we're building, and I can show you here in a minute, is every single agent has its own wallet or its own 0x address, cross-chain EVM address that can receive assets, send assets, sign a transaction, execute a transaction, make an attestation. It can receive an attestation, whatnot. And what we realized a long time ago, right, that like people get really confused when they see that hexadecimal address, that 0x ABC 123 whatever. People are like, what? They think it's like some foreign language. And so what we've built is a normal natural language on-chain name. So every single agent not only has a wallet with a hexadecimal address, but it has an on-chain name. Like I might have tmo.basin, or we have an account that we're doing some testing with to support elk habitat, and that's called elk.basin. And so that name is a unique on-chain name. And then we have .earth accounts. So we could get you Deepa.earth. And there's only, in our protocol, there's only one insurance agent named Deepa.earth, and that has a 0x wallet. And so we can track any activity that tmo.basin or Deepa.earth does, any attestations that I might make about your account or your agent. And then these can also be agentified with an LLM. So basically using Eliza OS, you can use Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, whatever you want under the hood to then have the agent execute transactions and sign stuff and send stuff and actually approve. Like our big vision here, Deepa, is like using a tool like what you're building, or what like Karma Gap is building, or Gitcoin is built, and tying those all in so that each agent has a reputation, has an identity, and it's that on-chain history, the traces, all the things that happen on chain that then something like your product can review, or Karma could quickly review of like Deepa.earth participated in this, did this. Oh, it has an attestation that, oh, don't interact with that account. And then you have to look at the sources, right? And so all of that can be done on chain using the addresses. And so that I really want to like at some point dive into like how Grant Orb could actually help. Like we see these. So insurance with an E insures nature, basically the stocks and flows of nature, all the benefits. And we've been seed funding all these different accounts. So whether it be climate stability insurance, which is an on-chain agent, on-chain account, pollination.insurance, inland wetlands.insurance, desert.insurance. So all these ecosystems and ecosystem services all have an account that we're putting basically coins and money and value into. And the idea being is that people like on the grant seeking realm could come to those accounts, those insurance agents, and say, I have a project that supports bee habitat in Portland, Oregon, and I want to request money from pollination.insurance. And so how can pollination.insurance quickly evaluate who's making that request? And so like they submit a grant, or they chat with the agent and they say, here's our project, this is what we're doing. And pollination.agent has Claude on the back end, and it says, oh, I have $100,000 in my account. Deepa.earth is asking for $2,000. Deepa has all this on-chain history. I'm going to immediately send $2,000 to Deepa.
Yes,
or I'm going to
autonomous based on all the online activities and stuff like that. My question for you is that how does this account get money? Where does the money come from?
So we've invited funders, right? We've invited funders and buyers of what we call coins and certificates, and we're selling some, right? We have on Insure, our main kind of coin right now for the whole ecosystem. We have I think 2,100 owners or holders of that. Then we have our like we were talking about Zora the other day. We have Insurance, which is a creator coin on Zora, which has probably 300 or 400 holders right now on that. And then we have 130 content coins, or what we just call nature coins. And those all have any number of holders from 10 to 400 holders a piece. So all of those that I just mentioned are coins, they're currencies, and we're setting up liquidity pools between them, and they all have a dollar value. They all have a price, and a lot of them right now are 0.0003 cents or 0.002 cents or whatnot, because we need more outside funding to come in and build the price and whatnot. But basically we got sick of waiting for people, and we're trying to do token sales and whatnot, and we're just going to create the value out of thin air, and it gets priced in dollars. That's the beauty of DeFi and crypto and whatnot. Is like we mint a coin, its value is basically zero, but in 30 seconds that value can go up 400% or 600% or 2,000% based on people buying and selling those coins. And the beauty of it, Deepa, is that every buy and sell, it doesn't matter if the market's going up or down, that funds all the different agents in our protocol. So right now we have about 2,000 agents. So they all have accounts. They all have 0x crypto accounts. So every single transaction that's happening on all of our coins is funding some level. Yeah, it's funding like I could show you. It's let me just I can just show it real quick. Like share. So we could go like here's a simplified view of our protocol. So at the bottom, we have natural assets, which are basically real estate or real assets that contain ecosystems. And so think of any property you drive by on a daily basis. It can be a city park, it could be a beautiful mountain view, it could be a farm, it could be a house with some forest, whatnot, it can be a desert, it can be a marine. Those are the natural assets. And then the agents are all those 2,000 accounts I'm talking about. So agents can be managed by a person, they can be managed by a script, so automated, or they can be managed autonomously with an LLM. And then we're funding them right now with coins, which are all those, they're ERC20 tokens that we're talking about. And that creates indirect funding. So all the trading then funds the agents, which then can fund the natural assets. And then we also have certificates, which are more of a direct funding mechanism. These are basically NFTs that if you buy one of these, 90 or 95% goes right to an agent. So if you were to buy Elk Basin's certificate, 95% or 95 cents of that dollar spent would go to the agent, and then the agent can do what it wants with it. But if we look here at like, so these are the assets or the certificates right here. This is the agent one of the agents I was telling you about. So Elk Dot Basin, that's its address.
Your agents look beautiful, I must say that.
Thank you. Yeah. So and so you can see it's,
generally when you think of agents, you think of like this robotic, like a very technical character. Your agents are they're so nature based. My question, I'll ask later, but you can go with this right now, and then I'll
go ahead. What's your question? Why don't we, go
my,
for it.
My questions, I always see you create things and put it on Zora. So my questions are more related to that later on, but I can ask later.
Well, okay. Yeah. So I think just let me show you let me show you the proceeds just real quick. This would be a good one just to just so you can kind of see how it all funds. What we've built is basically a protocol, a system that perpetually funds everything. And so every single thing you see here has an on-chain account as well. And so this is the origin. Basically, it mimics the water system, or the water cycle. So any funds, if you buy and sell a bunch of coins today, 10% of all that flow is going to go into this account, and then it then automatically funds all these. So this is funding several hundred groups right now, group accounts. This is funding our core operations. We have 3 main accounts. We have a dividend system, so distribution system. So the funds go into this account, and then they get manually distributed. Some of it can get swapped into US dollars, Bitcoin, Euro right here. So some of it goes there. And the main part of our protocol is this, the natural capital pools. So that 50% of everything that comes into this top level proceed, we call them insurance proceeds, funds 19 ecosystem services, which we call the flows of natural capital, and 15 ecosystems. So deserts, wetlands, grasslands, shrublands, stuff like that. And all of these are the agent accounts. So if we click through to like the stocks of natural capital, you can trace all this on chain, and you can see which account is getting what source or what amount of the money. And at any time, you can check this on chain. And so that goes back to your question about Zora. Zora is just a protocol. Like a lot of people think Zora right here is an app, right? Like think, oh, it's a website, it's an Instagram. Yeah. But Zora underneath, like if I click here on these are our nature coins, insurance coins. Basically, I can go here and I can look on Basescan, and I can look at the contract. And this is their coin V4 contract, which is their standard contract. And you can look at this contract on Uniswap. You can look at it on Matcha. You can look at it on Zora. You're looking at it here on Zora itself. This address right here is the same address right here. So that's the beauty of what we're building is when people think Zora, they're like, oh, well, Zora is like for young kids doing weird images and crazy shit. And it's like Zora is a protocol. Zora like is pure infrastructure if you want it to be.
It's just Zora. It's just it's visual basically. Like everything it's a protocol, but with the visual image like to it, right? Like something.
Yeah. So Zora's core premise is basically content or media. So they started in the NFT space, and they've been one of the biggest innovators on the financial mechanisms around NFTs. And they for 3 or 4 years they couldn't build liquidity around NFTs. They had some really awesome experiments around ERC20Z was an experiment they did that you mint an NFT and then it creates an ERC20 token. It goes and creates this market, this liquidity pool, but it just didn't work. So then they realized, like, wait a minute, every single ERC20 token with an image, right, or a video is no different than an NFT, except you can have 1 billion of them, or you could have 100. You could have 100 million of them. But their model is that every single one of these coins has 1 billion. So this one you're looking at here, Monicus, which funds this bioregion funds, marine systems insurance, coastal systems insurance. There's a billion of those coins. And so like right now, like we could just easily just, like buy, like, buy 75 cents or something of that. So you just,
how do people discover your stuff? Because you need people buying as well, right? Like on Zora, like do you naturally like see transactions happening, or how do people discover you?
So we can, so on Zora, this is their client, their front end client on their website. It's just a website, right? But it's running on-chain contracts underneath, and you can see all the different activity. These are different people following our account. These are different addresses trading our account. So all these green numbers you see are people buying and selling accounts. And you can go back, or we can go here. We could go to, let's just duplicate this. And let's just go to Gecko Terminal. And markets are down this week, right? We had a big week last week, but basically we're tracking all of our coins here. And you can see the different market activity. And so right now, we don't have anything automated running right now. And this just tracks. The problem with a lot of these coin marketplaces is it's just tracking 5 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hours, 24 hours. So it's not tracking a week, where if you go back to Zora, you can actually see if you go back to let's just look at this one, has a $789 market cap. And you can actually look at the market stats from all. Let's see, let's find one that, this one I shared yesterday. When I have screen sharing running, sometimes the internet doesn't work. But this shows some trading here. A purchase was made on August 7th. The price went up 344%. Some other trades were made during that day. Obviously went down, and then it's been slowly going up. And these are all these are trades along these lines going up. And so this shows all activity, whereas coin, Gecko Terminal shows the last 24 hours or something like that. But I'll stop there and ask questions.
What I just wanted to say, Zora is a great way to make money, or generate funds for your cause, the way you're doing it, because you put things out and then people discover and they buy, right, and buy and trade, so it's great. I've had experience with Zora. I haven't pushed anything out myself, but I knew in 2022, 2023, I was part of a community, Visualize Value. I guess you follow him too.
Yeah, Jack. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely love him. So his community, and so there were a lot of artists posting their work, and so I'm very familiar with Zora, and they made it really easy, because OpenSea was another NFT marketplace, but it was very hard to set up and post. And they've been really innovating, in terms of removing all the friction, to basically put stuff on chain. And then it's a great way to generate funds for your cause, rather than just having it on Instagram, maybe have it there and see who likes it.
Yeah. So here's an example. So I can go to our wallet here on our coins. So these are just the coins we're creating and I'm holding in just this one account. So basically, insurance is what's called our creator coin, which when you create a Zora account, you get 500 million of the supply. So 500 goes in the pool right away. It has to be bought, right? But then 500 million gets streamed to the creator over 5 years. So daily, any creator is getting about 300,000 coins. And so I can claim, I haven't claimed in a couple of days. So I'm just going to claim that real quick. It's going to go into our balance here, and it'll show up in a second. But all these coins, right, have dollar value that you can trade. I could go to filter right here, and I could sell I could sell 25% of it if I wanted to. I'm just going to do it right now. So I'm just going to trade it and confirm it, and we'll see what happens. It's probably going to sell. It has there's liquidity pools around it, and then it shows the volume here. This this coin only has, $5 of volume, but like, so you got a lot of sells and a few different buys here. So someone bought 500,000 right at the beginning, and then a bunch of people have been selling, or a lot of these accounts are bots that are basically buying and selling, but we don't care because every single one funds nature. It funds these accounts. So when the market's down, or when you see red, it doesn't matter because 1% went to the protocol. When the market's up, 1% goes to the protocol. So that that view I showed you over here, like it's all going into these accounts. So we don't care, oh, the market cap's down or market cap's up. But like to your point about making money, like you could just have an insurance, or a creator coin, and then you could do what Eco Wealth is like. Eco Wealth is trying to do some stuff with Regen Network here, and so his creator coin is up today, and he's just posting AI stuff. But like right, I like this one. This one's pretty. Like so, I'm in my insurance account. I have a TMO account also, but like I'm just going to buy. Let's buy like 111 is kind of my standard buy. I do because it's easy to keep track of. But I'm going to get 11 million of this content coin. So now I have 11 million of his content coin right here that will show up. I got 13 million based on the market price. But what happens is it routes through his creator coin. So like Eco Wealth is his creator coin here that we can, I could buy his, if I wanted like to buy a portfolio level. So instead of buying his posts right here or his coins, I could just buy his creator level right now. And so let's just buy some of that, like, buy it. So it's the supply is different. So that's 25,000 coin. But now I can go back to my wallet here and look and see like his coins will show up in this list here at some point once the crypto graph shows up. But every day, like, here's, Carbon Copy Refi.
Yeah.
Like their token is up, like this one's up 42% today.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So all they post, like what do they post? Like
they're posting they've been posting their articles, their paragraph articles. And they're not using Zora as much, I don't think anymore, but let's just look and see. So I could like click on their profile here and it's loading. But they, if they have a big market cap just by posting their posts here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking of back in 2023, I was like thinking of really leveraging Zora because I was like, had all these artists, people posting. And I was like, oh, maybe I should take, like those historical clips from my podcast because I did capture early parts of, how Impact has evolved at that point of time. And a lot of things were good and a lot of things were bad, but it all makes up history. It's like a museum. So I wanted to create like a museum on chain of Impact 1000. I thought I'll take clips and I'll put it on Zora, but I never did that. I never did that. But yeah, it would make like a museum on Zora of the early days of DAOing for Impact.
No, and that's so Zora, right, started as kind of like on-chain artifacts or moments in time or collectibles.
Yes.
And then they've iterated to this coin model.
Okay.
And it's, to me, they have innovated more in the space than anybody, any coin operator besides maybe Uniswap and any NFT operator. They've tested, they've tried, they've shipped.
Yeah,
and the coin. There's a lot of naysayers right now, and it might not work, but like it's the best thing we have going to fund your work. Like I could go, if you started posting your Deepa coin or whatever, Impact Orb coin, then I can own a share, right, of your work. I can own individual shares of your individual pieces of work. So your posts. But if I own your main coin, I own a share of every single, and I'm supporting you and participating in what you're building, because Zora's protocol is that 1%. Same thing. All those trades fund you. So it's the same thing that we're doing with insurance.
Yeah, I get it. And I actually would want to put my Substack, which is Crypto Good, which basically documented the early, even before 2021. Like I actually went into the past to look about see about crypto philanthropy. Like I learned about Pineapple Fund and all that stuff. I don't know if you know about Pineapple Fund, but it was started by this bit rich, like a person who made tons of money through his participation in Bitcoin, and he wanted to donate it. And so he started something called a Pineapple Fund. It was run totally on Reddit. He accepted proposals on Reddit. He made money on, gave grants on Reddit, like totally on Reddit. And so I really went into the past to see what good has crypto done. And so I've got like tons of historical stuff on my Substack, which maybe one day, if there's like a button saying, push all of this onto Zora, because I don't have time to go individually do it, or like how Substack has like restack it, like you can take quotes from your article and restack it. So if there is something as simple, dead simple as that, like, oh, you want to push this out on Zora as well, like some kind of an integration, then I would love to do that. Like I'd love to get it on Zora.
You need to vibe code that. There's a need for that to take existing content
and put it up there. Yeah. Like just quotes. People don't want to read the whole thing. They just want the most quotable things, right? So maybe Zora can build it out. Like they've been very, open to getting it more mainstream. Like I feel like that's always been their focus. Like how can we make Zora mainstream? And they've been really good with it. So I guess maybe they can build something like this.
There's a business model in that idea of just coining existing content. So if you basically somehow have to attribute it to the original creator.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So if you go to your Substack, somehow you have to go back and
it'll get linked to it, right? Because my handle is already there. And so if I'm like restacking it from there, like Substack has this, like you can restack, you can you've written an article, you like something that you want to highlight, like maybe 3 sentences or 2 sentences, then you just select that and you restack it. That becomes a code. But while I'm restacking it, if there's a button that says push it on Zora as well, and then it goes there and gets linked to my Zora and to my original Substack, then it's on chain.
And do they have that button, or you're saying they need to make it?
Zora doesn't have it. They don't have it yet. They don't have it. If they have it, I will do it. But I don't have time to actually go and curate it. I want it to be something as easy as this,
I'm going to go after we get off the call here. I'm going to go on Zora Dev channel, and I'll tell. Ask Isaac and Zach to. That's a sweet feature. If you link Substack, if you link to your Zora, then there's a one-to-one connection, and you just say, right, coin on Zora, and it pulls the media, coins it.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
That'll be so sweet because it's a no-brainer, right? Like. You don't have to do anything, and you're anyways like I keep going back to my old articles and restacking because I've said such wonderful things that I want to restack it, why not highlight it? So I always go to my old articles and I'm finding quotes to this thing. And then in Substack they have a feed now, so it's like kind of like a social media feed, so they have feed where people can see other people's restacks, so something like that.
Well, cool. This has been great to catch up with you, and I can't wait with coin some stuff this weekend, and send me the link. I'll buy some of your coins. I'll share your coins. The beautiful thing too about Zora is it's a network and a protocol. So if I share your content on Twitter or Farcaster, it's attached to my address. And if you share insurance content on LinkedIn, there's a referral address that you make money also on every single trade that happens from every single coin that gets bought from your share. So it becomes like every day I have a few dollars of Zora in each different wallet because of something I shared and someone bought month ago, a year ago, whatever. So it's the magic internet money is showing up, and it's trickling in, but I think it's going to come in bigger here at some point soon. So I'd love to be an early buyer of your stuff.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I hope that feature comes. I'd love to put my stuff up there.
Cool. Well, thanks for making time to do this today.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm so glad we connected. Like we always wanted to do this kind of conversation, and so we're finally having it.
Yeah, and it's on the recordings will be on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn as well. They'll be there, and So people can watch them there if they want, or you're welcome to chop it up, Deepa, and if you want to put it on your podcast, maybe
Oh
I'd
yeah,
do the same.
please send me the raw file, please. I'll do that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And then if you want to get together sometime and do more of an interview style format, I'd be game to do
Oh
that.
yeah,
As well. Yeah.
totally. Okay, great. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.
Okay. See ya. Bye.